You guys know when it's hot, we need all of the cold summer sides. I love a good cold side, something that you really don't have to heat up your entire kitchen for. It's already hot outside, so when you're eating, it's just so refreshing. I actually have family coming over in just a couple of minutes, so I am making this before they get here. So this first one is starting with just a few simple ingredients. This is my basil plant, which I am very proud of, by the way. I took some bamboo skewers and I just cut them in half. I don't know that I will actually be using a total of 16, but that's how many I have. So I've got some tomatoes that I've already washed. I am just going to slice them in half. These are those, what are they called? Medley, something like that. They're like a different color. There's purple in there, there's yellow in there, there's red. You can use whatever kind of little tomatoes you can get a hold of. Okay, I'm gonna set my tray over here so I can start to lay things out. This is some prosciutto, just some smoked prosciutto. You can use whatever kind. This was on sale at the grocery store, which is why I went with this one. So just use whatever kind. Maybe it's buy one, get one free that week and you get a good deal. And I've got these mozzarella cherry size. I saw the pearls, but I actually, sorry, that was loud. I actually thought the cherry size would be really good to go with these skewers. Does anybody else have like a real problem opening stuff like this? We are going to just take each one of these. I don't even know how many are in here. I didn't even check. We're going to slide one of these on and I'm gonna go in somewhat of a pattern. I wrote the pattern down, hang on. Okay, so we're doing mozzarella, then I'm gonna grab some prosciutto. I'm not gonna do a whole piece. I'm probably gonna cut each piece into, oh, let's just do thirds, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to fold it up a bit so that it fits nicely with everything else. We'll take a basil leaf. You can also use spinach for my friends who are not fans of basil. Feel like you can do that. I'm gonna grab a tomato, put a half tomato on there. And then, what did I say was gonna be next? Oh, prosciutto again. Kind of in half here. Another little basil leaf. I'm gonna change the color of tomato just because I like to add color, you guys know that. And then on the end, we will add another mozzarella ball. And we are just gonna repeat this process. Oh, I did not do that in a pattern. What did I say? Okay, mozzarella, prosciutto, basil, tomato. Oh, I remember. Okay, we'll change it up. I was gonna put the tomatoes side by side, the different colors. It doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. But I was just looking at it thinking, I homeschool my kids and that's not a pattern. Look at these, look how simple they were. It took me just a couple of minutes to make these and they look like $1,000,000 and they're so tasty. I am gonna make up a little balsamic glaze to go on the top. You can just serve these with balsamic vinegar. That's completely fine. You can serve them plain without that. I do think a little sprinkle of salt and pepper is a great thing to add to these too, because it just really brings out the flavor of all of this. You can just cover these and throw them in the fridge until we're ready to serve and I'll make up that balsamic glaze. I'm just gonna add some balsamic vinegar to this pot here and I'm just gonna heat it until it reduces. That's it. So I'm adding, this is probably 3/4 of a cup, but you would just do whatever you need and you're just reducing that down. That's it. You're just putting it over medium heat. You guys know that one thing I love to do is make up things that have similar flavors and ingredients because that's less money at the grocery store and less time at the grocery store. So the next thing we're gonna make is this nice, really fragrant and beautiful Orzo pasta. Now my Orzo is already boiling on the stove. You guys saw that over there, but Orzo just takes a couple of minutes to cook. You just stir it every once in a while, maybe 3 to 4 minutes, depending on your, the heat of your water and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making up this dressing while that finishes cooking. We're gonna do about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're also gonna add about a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And I'm not gonna measure this one, it's just kind of eyeballing it. We do want to add a little bit of salt and pepper. So I'm probably adding a 1/2 teaspoon or so of salt and maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. So I'm gonna just use a fork and whisk this together, but it's gonna have to get whisked again once we add everything else to it. So I'm just gonna set this to the side because we are gonna chop up some tomato and some basil to add into this as well. Now I've used about 10 of these tomatoes, but you can just use whatever amount you're comfortable with, honestly. Okay, we've got about, I don't know, a cup-ish of basil here, and I'm just gonna take all of the leaves off. We're gonna roughly chop them, and then that's gonna go in there as well. This all came off my plant. I'm actually hoping that this sort of pruning will help it to kind of grow again, because I don't think it's done much lately. If you don't like basil, just find some sort of other green that you can add in there. Okay, I think that's good. I don't really need to chop it like completely. So we're gonna go ahead and put all of that in there. Now, my orzo is done cooking, and off camera, I actually went ahead and rinsed it in some cold water so that it would stop cooking, but I also just really wanted it to cool down. So this is a lot of orzo. I made the entire bag. You do not have to. If I were just cooking for our family of 4, I wouldn't have made that much. So just feel like you make whatever amount you want for your family, however much you guys think that you'll eat. Okay, even a little more basil would look really good in here. So, but again, I did use a lot of orzo, and that was intentional because that's like a bulkier food when you're serving more people than you normally would. All right, let's give this a try and see if it needs anything else before I put it into our serving dish. Okay, it needs a little bit more salt, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that. It's really fresh tasting. I am gonna go ahead and add a little bit more pepper. And I think a touch more of the lemon juice would be really good. So really you're using the juice of 1 full lemon, which I actually think is 3 tablespoons, not 2. So if you were using 1 full lemon, then you're gonna get that amount anyway. All right, let's see how it is now with the addition of those few things. So you get that lemon, you get that salt. I personally am a big fan of orzo, but one thing that this brings to the table is it's just so fresh. We're gonna put this in a serving dish. I'm gonna throw it in the fridge so that it's just chilling and ready to go when they get here. For this next recipe, I've got some corn. You guys saw me make this in my Pampered Chef microwavable pan pot. And all that you do is put this in the microwave with some water and it just steams your vegetables for you, which is really convenient. I also use white corn, but you don't feel like you have to. You use whatever you can get a hold of. And so I use 2 bags because I know we've got people coming over and I wanna make more. And then I just let it sit in some cold water so that it would cool off a bit. I don't want hot corn here. I'm sure you could serve this hot, but we are choosing to serve it cold. I've also got some bacon that I just finished making. We're gonna crumble this up. So I'm just gonna take a few pieces and crumble it up and add it here. So you can use whatever amount you want, but you guys know we don't usually skimp on the bacon. We do really enjoy bacon. So I think I'm gonna end up using about 6 to 7 pieces. I've also got some green onion here. We are gonna chop up a couple of these. I don't know, we'll just kind of see how it goes. If you're just making the normal size recipe, you're probably gonna use 2 tablespoons or so. I did more because we did double the corn. I mean, you guys know on recipes like this, it's not baking, it's not technically chemistry. So you're not, needing to make sure that the cake is going to rise the way that it should. I'm just a big believer that you should put more of what you love in these recipes. I made homemade ranch. You guys know I have to make homemade ranch. We're gonna add about a cup, maybe a little less, just because a cup is quite a bit. So maybe like 3/4, and we'll add more of this if we feel like it needs it. We're adding in some cheddar, some Kerrygold cheddar, but you guys just use whatever kind of cheese you like, and you need about a cup of this. So even if you are making the regular size and you're not doubling it, you still want a good amount of cheese. Okay, we're gonna use the juice of 1 lime. So, oh, this is a new one. Let's start with 2 tablespoons. We'll see how that goes, and if I feel like it needs more lime flavor, then we can add it. Actually, let's just go for it. Let's go for it. I'm gonna go for the 3. Watch, it's probably gonna have too much lime in it. I'm gonna go with 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And then you have to add some salt and pepper, of course. Gotta add some good flavor in there. So I'm probably going with a little under a teaspoon of salt, and we will obviously taste test and make sure that it has everything that it needs. Add some pepper. Let's taste it and see if it needs anything. That is really good and really interesting. The lime, wow, okay. And then you get the pepper. Okay, it's like, there's a series of flavors that you get out of this. The first thing that hits is that ranch, then the lime, then you hit the pepper and the garlic. This is really good, you guys. Okay, I'm not gonna add anything. I think it's really good the way that it is. So the only thing that I'm gonna do is put some of the green onion on the top just for color so it looks really pretty. I don't know if this serving bowl is big enough, but we're gonna go for it and see what happens. Comment down below, is anybody else like this? I feel like, it's not depth. I have a really difficult time looking at a product, like if you need to put something in Tupperware, looking at the Tupperware and trying to figure out what size Tupperware I need that would be appropriate for like leftovers. I don't know what you call that. I know there's a word and I'm trying to think of it and it's just not coming to me, but comment down below, is anybody like that? Because I mean, for some reason, my husband will make fun of me, but sometimes I'll look at like this much leftover food and I'm pulling out a container of this size right here. All right, friends, now it is time for me to quickly clean up my kitchen before family comes over and we hang out for the afternoon. I hope that you guys enjoyed these sides. I'm telling you, I love a good cold side in this season because it's hot outside, it's refreshing, it's gonna add all these just like beautiful elements of flavor, things that you just don't necessarily want in the winter time, but in the summertime, it is perfect. I hope that you guys are having a great week. Bye.